So I am a Portuguese and an English teacher. I teach in a private school in Sintra. It is a very, very small village near Lisbon, the capital of Portugal. So my students are between 11 and 14 years old. Most of them have great skills in English, so they speak English in a very kind way. And usually I teach them at school, right? But sometimes we have to be, due to COVID, we have students at home and we need to connect with them. And usually we use Teams. Okay, so I studied, I took my degree in Coimbra. It's one of the oldest universities here in Europe, and it is the oldest university in Portugal. I've stayed there for 5 years, and now I live in Lisbon for about 14 years. Okay, I'm not from Lisbon. I'm from the center of Portugal, but now I live here in Lisbon. I have a daughter. My daughter is 8 years old. She also studies here at my school. My school is called Colégio Vasco da Gama, due to Vasco da Gama. So it is an important personality for us and for Portugal and for you too, right? And that's it.
Okay, thank you so much for your lovely introduction, Paula. So we can't wait for your presentation. Maybe if you have any presentation, could you please share with us?
Yes, I have only some pictures because I also expect you to ask me some questions. Okay,
yes.
I'm going to show you some pictures with some information about our country. I'm going to share the screen, okay? So this is our flag, the Portuguese flag, okay? Portugal is one of the oldest countries in Europe, okay? Its frontiers are quite old, and our flag is green, red, and yellow. Over here, I have the location. Now, as you probably know, we have a war in Europe, right? The war in Ukraine and Russia. And Portugal is this very, very small country. Our frontiers are with Spain, and over here we have the Atlantic Ocean. We also have two islands called Madeira and Azores. Over here we have France, Germany, Italy, United Kingdom, right? And over here we have Ukraine and Russia. So we are far away from those problems. But today, since the beginning of the war, we are receiving many Ukrainians, and we are teaching them how to speak Portuguese. And we are receiving Ukrainian children in our schools. And they are getting all the things that we also give to our students. And they have special classes for Portuguese, to learn Portuguese, okay? So over here, just to tell you a little bit about myself. So today, nowadays, I live here in Sintra, a small village near Lisbon. We have the ocean quite near us. And I studied here in Coimbra, in the center of Portugal, okay? But I'm from Viseu. My childhood lived here in Viseu. Then I studied for 5 years here in Coimbra, and now I'm here in Sintra for 14 years now, and I really enjoy living here because it is the weather is nicer than over there in Viseu. Viseu is more cold, okay? So over here we have Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama is very important for us because it became the first European to reach India, right? Crossing the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Oceans. and he arrived in Calcutta on the 20th May 1498. That's why that day, the 20th May, is the day of our school, okay? Because our name is Vasco da Gama, and it was the day that Vasco da Gama reached India. This great expedition was one of the longest ocean voyage made at that time. It was really, really important. And they left from Belém. Belém is a small part of Lisbon, near River Tejo. And that's where they left. They departed from there. Even today is remembered by its importance to our history. There was one very important writer called Luís Vaz de Camões that wrote Lusíadas. It is an epic poem about this amazing trip made by Vasco da Gama. And he also tells about the amazing Portuguese story, because it is a very, very long story. Over here we have Rio Tejo, okay? And this is a monument dedicated to descobrimentos. That's how we call this discovery of new countries, of new routes. We call it descobrimentos. So this is padrão dos descobrimentos, okay? Over here we have some important monuments, also Torre de Belém. It is very near the padrão dos descobrimentos. We also have one part of our country also has very many mountains, and it snows in the winter. And we usually go skiing to Serra da Estrela. That's how we call the place where it snows. And then we also have a part of the country, especially the south, because it is near Africa, right? We have Morocco quite near us. And it is our beaches are really amazing in Algarve. It is also one very touristic part of our country. We receive many tourists during the year, especially Europeans, Spanish, English, German, also German, Italian, because our prices are not very high, okay? And they have a very nice weather in most of the country, especially in the summer. Now we are in the summer. We are starting our school break, and we have many tourists coming to Portugal right now. Over here, I'm also sharing some pictures of Madeira Island. It's a very beautiful island in the Atlantic Ocean. Here we have some of their typical houses. It is a very beautiful place. Over here they have swimming pools, but they don't need to do them because they are natural swimming pools. And it also is a very beautiful part of our country. Over here we have the food. Our food is also amazing, and that's one of the special parts that tourists also enjoy. We have some things like cozido à portuguesa. We have many sweets, such as pastel de Belém, queijadas de Sintra. So we have many typical dishes from all over the country. So over here in Alentejo is near Algarve. Algarve is the place where people usually go during the summer, because the weather is much better during the summer here. And Alentejo also has many special dishes Fish, the fish is very good here in Portugal. We also eat a lot codfish. Usually in Christmas, we eat codfish. Is a traditional plate during the summer, the Christmas, sorry. We also eat sardines, usually in this time of the year, because we are celebrating Santos Populares. There are many parties outside. People dance, people sing, and people eat sardinhas. So there are many places to eat this type of fish. And I'm also going to talk you a little bit about some of the things that I don't know if you want to ask me the questions, or if you want me to answer the questions. What do you want me to do?
Yes, we have plenty of questions. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation about your country. We are so excited to know more about your country. And let me tell you one thing, no student in India passes the school without knowledge of Vasco da Gama, because it's a fundamental GK question. I mean, general knowledge question for every student to know who invents the sea route, who invented sea route to India. So Vasco da Gama is one of the basic knowledge that every student has to possess before he passes the school. So Portugal and the Portuguese people are the integral part of our social studies. I mean, one of the subjects of our school. So just like the Britishers, the Portuguese people are also part of the Indian subjects. And it's a unique thing about the Portugal is that the Europeans, especially all the Europeans, they made a beeline to the India with the Portuguese civilization. So that's a great.
I think that we have a connection, right?
Yes, yes.
There's a big connection between you and us, right?
Yes.
Even being so far, we have many parts of our history that come together, right?
Yes, absolutely. I do agree with you. So my students have many questions, and who is going to ask the first question? Sai Nagasri, would you like to ask first? Yes, go ahead.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Sai. Sai, how do I say it? Sayanaga? Am I saying right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Sayana Gasri. I finished my 7th grade. My hobbies are reading books, playing games, and watching TV. My future ambition is to become a software engineer. Ma'am, I would like to pose a question. Can I pose?
Yes, you can, please.
Why is the cock a symbol of Portugal?
Well, that's a quite interesting story. That's one of the stories that we usually study at school in history or in Portuguese. And it is a legend. It is a legend from a place in the north of Portugal called Barcelos, because everyone was quite alarmed because there was a mysterious robbery, and the mysterious robbery had no suspects, okay? And one day, a Spanish pilgrim came to the city and he raised some suspicions, and he said that it was someone that it really wasn't, okay? And the pilgrim was therefore condemned to that for stealing those things. But what did they said? The pilgrim said that he was not guilty and he was innocent, and he said that he said that to the judge, okay, because he wasn't the guilty. And at the same time, he said that when the rooster, after all would have gotten up, he started to sing, okay. And what happened? The judge condemned them, but in fact, he went to the place where he was being hung, okay. And what happened? He wasn't killed because he survived thanks to a thing that, how do you say that? the knot was not well done, okay, and it was saved. Since then, the rooster is one of the symbols of Portugal, especially that part of the country, because there is a whole legend around that special thing that we had on that day, and it was because the judge said that it was the guilty, but in fact it wasn't really the guilty.
Yeah,
okay,
it's quite interesting story.
yes, it is.
Yeah, Jagadish, over to you.
Yes, sir. Hello, ma'am. This is Jagdish. I am studying 8th grade at this page as Sairavanam. My hobbies are reading books and watching TV. My future ambition is to become an English teacher. Can I ask you, ma'am?
Yes, please.
What subjects are taught in your school, ma'am?
Well, that's a quite interesting question because I think that it reveals a lot about what we give value in our country, right? So the small kids in the first, second, third, and fourth grade, they have Portuguese, they have maths, and they have social studies. Some schools, depending whether they are private or not, they also learn English since the first grade, okay? But all public schools, they have English since the third grade. They can also have music, and some schools that are private and that are associated with religion also have a religion subject. My students, and I believe they are the same age as you, they have Portuguese, maths, social studies, English, French. They also do French here at school. Physical education, history, geography, chemistry. They have a lot. They have 11 subjects. I believe it is a lot of subjects, but when they get to the secondary school, they have less because they get specialized in an area. And for example, if they go to science, they are not going to have Portuguese. They are not going to have history, sorry, because all of them in the secondary school have Portuguese, English, philosophy, and physical education. And the other subjects, it depends on the areas that they choose. I hope I answered your question, Gato. Is it correct,
Yes,
Gato? Gato?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what gato means in Portuguese? I'm going to tell you. It's a cat.
So Jagadish,
It isn't written in the same way, okay? But it's a cat, okay?
Jagadish,
Nice
your surname is cat in Portuguese. Okay, and Bhagyasri, about you.
Yes, sir. Hello, ma'am. My name is Bhagyasri. I have completed my 8th grade. My hobbies are reading books and playing games. My future ambition is to become a doctor. Shall I ask one question, ma'am?
Yes, please.
What is Portugal famous for?
Well, I think that one of the most important things about Portugal is our tourism. Portugal is quite known for the nice way that we receive people. Usually people really enjoy visiting Portugal because we know how to receive, okay? So one of the things that we are famous for is our tourism. I have already talked about our islands are also important. Madeira and the Açores are very, very, very beautiful. And I believe that Portugal is one of the most visited countries here in Europe, exactly because of our amazing beaches and so on. We also receive a lot of cruise boats in Lisbon and in Madeira. And we are also known for that. Another thing that I believe that many people know us for is for our football. Our football team, national team, is usually very good, and the national football sport is very important for us. And we have a football player that I believe that you know, I don't know, it is called Cristiano Ronaldo. Is one of the best players in the world. Is Portuguese. He was born in Madeira, and he was from a very poor family, and he came to study here in Lisbon to one of the football academies, and now he's all over the world and is a quite important football player. We are also known for a type of song called fado. Fado is one type of song quite connected with something called saudade, which means missing someone. And it is said that this word, saudade, is very important for Portuguese because of the discoveries, because the women stayed at home and they really missed their husbands, their sons, and that's why fado is connected with the discoveries. One of the most important singers, she has already died, okay, for about 10 years now, I think, and she's called Amalia. We also have another important football player that it's also has already died, called Eusébio. He was also very important for our history. We also have one type of horses that are quite famous, called Lusitanian horse. We are also known for that. And I think that's it. Also our food. We're also known by our food that it's quite good.
Yes. So Nandini, over to you.
Yes, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Nandini.
Hello, ma'am. This is Nandini. I have finished my 7th grade. My hobbies are reading books and playing games. My future ambition is to become a software engineer. Would you allow me to ask a question?
Of course.
Does Portugal mean orange?
Usually, I don't know what you mean with that question. It is the color orange, or is the fruit orange? The color orange?
Yes.
I'm not listening, Harry.
Maybe it's a fruit, or maybe color or fruit. I don't know actually.
I think it is the food, because in Algarve, that part of Portugal near to Africa, we produce cork, and we also produce oranges, and the cold Algarve oranges are quite sweet. It is there's a big difference between eating an orange from Algarve and an orange from Beira Alta, for example, and it's difficult to produce. Okay, that's why we are also known for that. The typical Algarve orange is really sweet and quite tasty.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you for that information. Tedipia, over to you.
Yes, sir. Hi, ma'am. My name is Erika. I have completed my 6th grade. My hobbies are reading books and playing games. My life ambition is to become a software engineer. Can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yes, please.
What is Portuguese social security system?
I didn't listen it right.
What is Portuguese social security system?
Oh, the social security system. That's a quite interesting question. Thank you for that. Well, in Portugal, we have a social security system in which we discount every month, so that we can have some things like schools, public schools, health, social security, money for our retirement. Okay, one part of our of our money, instead of coming to us at the end of the month, because we receive it monthly, it goes to the government. Because if I need to go to a hospital, I don't pay for go to the hospital, to a public hospital, okay? But there are some people that have private hospitals and they pay to go there, okay? That's also, it also happens with schools. We have public schools. Our public schools are quite good, but there are also some private schools, especially in the big cities, because in the big cities, parents are more reluctant in putting them into public schools, because in private schools there aren't things such as the, I don't know, crime. There are some parts of the cities that are not that secure, and some parents usually put them in private schools. I always attended the public school, okay, and I really liked attending public schools because I believe that they work quite well. We also have some parts of the country that don't really have private schools because they don't need private schools. They don't have private hospitals because public hospitals answer all the needs. But today we are living a quite difficult in getting teachers. There's no teachers to teach at public schools and private schools, and there are also doctors missing in some parts of our country, okay? I think that I answered your question.
Actually, I have a supplementary question regarding this. You have just told that the teachers are not available, and even doctors also not available. What's the reason for the non-availability of these services of teachers and doctors?
We don't have enough teachers at this moment. 10 years ago, there were a lot of teachers. And some of them decided to go to other countries. They decided to go to other jobs, okay? And nowadays we need teachers, and we don't have teachers to answer all the needs. Some public schools have missing teachers for the whole year. Imagine geography teachers. Some of students didn't have geography teachers for a whole year, especially in the big cities such as Lisbon and some parts of Algarve. And why? Because we don't receive that much, okay? And the price of the houses are quite high. So if I go to Algarve, for example, to teach, I need to rent a house, and the houses are quite expensive. Okay, that's for that. The doctors is another conversation. We don't really have enough doctors to give answer to all the needs, because the universities don't have answer to form all those doctors that we need. Okay, that's the reason.
Yes, so that means the government has taken any initiatives to recruit the more doctors and teachers from foreign origin, so that the gap that is the students are experiencing in the schools can be refilled, I think.
Yeah, they are trying to apply some measures, thinking about that, giving them houses or some social support for them to pay the houses, and one of the things that they are trying to do now.
So if that is so, I think in India we have plenty of teachers.
Yeah,
Indian teachers can make
you can come here.
So Indian teachers and doctors definitely come and visit, and maybe they stay and maybe they move to your country. If this news actually spreads throughout my country, definitely they make it.
We really need teachers,
yes.
English teachers, geography, history, well, a lot of subjects, in
Yes,
fact.
absolutely. Nagalakshmi, over to you.
Yes, sir. Hello, ma'am. This is Nagalakshmi. I have completed my 8th grade. My hobbies are reading books and playing games. My long-term goal is to become an English teacher. Can I ask one question, ma'am?
Yes, please. Oh, you don't have the mic on.
What schools are popular in your country?
Well, we have private schools and we have public schools, okay? We have very many popular public schools here in Lisbon. For example, Liceu Camões is a very known school. In Beira Alta, which is the part of the country where I come from, we also have a very important public school called Alves Martins, okay? And now I am talking about public schools from middle school and secondary schools, right? We also have private schools, such as Maristas, Salesianos. Our private school is also known all over the country. And then we have universities. And the universities, we have the University of Coimbra, which is one of the oldest universities in Europe, as I've told you before. And we also have the University of Lisbon and University of Porto, which are quite known and have a very important role in our society. I think I answered your question.
Yes. Sai Surya, over to you.
Hi, ma'am. I am Sai Surya. I am studying 7th grade. My hobbies are reading books, playing games, and watching TV. My future ambition is to become a police officer. I would like to pose a question, ma'am. Can I pose?
Yes, please. Yes, of course.
What is Portugal in wet?
I didn't listen.
What is Portugal in wet?
So yes,
Oh,
Portuguese invent. What
invented?
What did Portuguese invent?
Well, as we are quite connected with the discoveries and the sea route and so on, we invented the Portuguese caravel. It is a Portuguese boat that our sailors used to go to India, for example. We also invented the nautical astrolabe, which was a quite important instrument in the discoveries. And now more modern things. We invented the ATM, the places where we get the money from the boxes. Portuguese invented them. We also invented the prepaid cards for mobile phones. It was also invented by Portuguese, and the small wind balls that we put on microphones, they were also invented by us. So I'm giving you examples of modern days and some examples of some old days, and I think that we made such good inventions.
Yeah. So Anna Paula, I have a question for you. In history, in our Indian history, we have many lessons regarding the Portuguese entry and their maybe their business. So everything is actually they are part of our history books. So do you have Indian history in your history books similarly?
We have some parts of Indian history which are connected with our history. For example, my students, I'm a Portuguese teacher, right? My students on the 9th grade, they studied Lusíadas. And the history of Lusíadas, this work written by Camões, is the discovery of the sea route to India by Vasco da Gama. And we talked a lot about India at that time. And when they reached Calcutta, it's one of the parts of the work that we study. So you're also quite important to our history exactly because of that. and we study that on that context. We study that in history at a certain time of, I believe it is on the 7th grade. And we also study it in Portuguese because it is important to get to the message of Camões in Lusíadas. We really need to know how it is connected with India.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. And other than this, what do you know about India? I think so. Are there any attractive features that you always talk about India?
Unfortunately, I haven't visited India yet, but I think it is a country that I would love to visit because it is a quite different culture of ours, right? We have many things here that were brought to us by Vasco da Gama and the other sailors that belong to India. And I think it is a quite amazing country to visit. I would like to know much more about it, I confess. And I think it is one of the things that we can do is connecting with this type of video conference, because that's an amazing way of getting to know other countries. I really know that it is a quite big country comparing to us. We're so small. We're a quite tiny country in the world, one of the most tiny countries in the world, and India is a huge country.
India is, in terms of the size, India is huge. In terms of population, India is absolutely a huge one. So I think we have 2 minutes time is left. So in future, maybe we can do many sessions with your students, so we can discuss about our history and legacy and culture and tradition. So many things we can do it in future as a part of some of the projects that we can engage our students in. So could you please give a final message to my students before we wrap up the session?
I was really amazed by your type of pronunciation, the message that you brought to us was quite interesting. The way that you present your questions were all quite interesting. I love the different type of jobs that you want to do in the future, and I hope you get I hope all your dreams come true. Okay. And I would like to connect with you and my students in September, October. Okay, we can talk a little bit about it through Messenger. And I hope that we come together one more time. It was a pleasure being with you. Okay, really nice.
Thank you so much.